Good evening, everyone. Today I want to talk about a powerful message shared by Sadhguru. Let them miss you and watch everything change. In our fast paced world, we often seek constant validation, attention, and presence in people's lives. We fear being forgotten, and in doing so, we become overly available, sometimes to the point of losing our own individuality and significance. Sadhguru beautifully explains that space and absence are just as important as presence. When you step back, when you give people the opportunity to miss you, you create value in their lives. Imagine a piece of music. It is not just the notes that create beauty, but also the silence between them. Similarly, in relationships, work, and even personal growth, taking a step back allows appreciation, clarity, and transformation to unfold naturally. When something is always available, it often becomes taken for granted. People naturally assume that what is always present will continue to be there, and they stop recognizing its value. This is true for relationships, opportunities, and even personal presence in other people's lives. When someone is always around, their presence becomes routine, and familiarity can sometimes lead to a loss of appreciation. Absence has a unique way of shifting perspectives. When a person steps away, whether intentionally or due to circumstances, others begin to notice their significance more deeply. Imagine a favorite song that you play repeatedly. At some point, the impact fades and it becomes background noise. However, if you stop listening to it for a while and then play it again, you feel its essence more powerfully because the absence created a fresh perspective. The same principle applies to human relationships. When a person is always available, they become predictable and their presence is no longer special. This is why distance can create value. If a friend, a partner, or even a colleague who is always present suddenly takes a step back, their importance becomes clearer to those around them. People start to reflect on their contributions, their energy, and what they brought into their lives that was previously overlooked. It is only in their absence that their true presence is felt. This principle applies to many aspects of life. A job that seems exhausting or uninspiring can suddenly feel desirable if one is away from it for some time. A place that felt ordinary while living there can become nostalgic when seen from afar. Even personal achievements that seem minor in the moment gain significance when looked back upon after a period of distance. In relationships, stepping back does not mean cutting off, it simply means allowing space for others to realize and acknowledge what they truly value. This is why sometimes walking away or giving distance in friendships and romantic relationships can either strengthen the bond or reveal its true nature. If the connection was genuine, absence will reinforce it. And if it was weak, it will fade without effort, revealing that it was not meant to last. People crave what they feel they are losing. The moment something becomes rare, it becomes more valuable. Absence does not mean neglect. It simply allows appreciation to grow in ways that presence sometimes cannot. By stepping away, one allows others to see the true worth of what was always there, but never fully seen. When something is always present, it often becomes overlooked. People get used to things being available and stop noticing their true value. This happens in relationships, in daily routines, and even in the way we view ourselves. When something or someone is always around, the mind stops registering their significance because it becomes normal and expected. However, when there is space, when something is missing for a while, appreciation naturally grows. In relationships, space is one of the most powerful ways to bring clarity and gratitude. When two people are always in each other's presence, they may start to take each other for granted. Small gestures that once felt special begin to feel ordinary. The excitement and warmth that once existed may fade not because anything is wrong, but because there is no space to reflect on the importance of the connection. And if when there is distance, when there is a pause in constant interaction, Both individuals start to realize what the other truly means to them. They reflect on the memories, the kindness, the support, and all the little things that may have been unnoticed before. Absence allows love and respect to resurface in ways that constant presence often does not. This principle applies not only to people but also to experiences and things. A person who eats their favorite meal every day may stop appreciating its taste, but if they go without it for some time, the first bite after the break feels incredibly satisfying. A person who lives in a beautiful place may stop noticing its beauty until they leave and then return with fresh eyes. Space creates perspective, and perspective brings deeper appreciation. In personal growth, space is equally important. Constant engagement with responsibilities and people can sometimes cloud the mind and create stress. Taking time alone, stepping back from the usual routine, or simply allowing moments of quiet can lead to greater self-awareness and understanding. People often find that they appreciate their own life more when they step away from the busyness and see it from a distance. Reflection is what allows gratitude to develop, and reflection only happens when space is given. Giving space is not about neglecting or ignoring. It is about allowing room for things to breathe, to be seen, and to be valued. When something is not always in front of us, we are more likely to notice its beauty. When space is given, appreciation naturally follows. 4. When someone is always available, their presence starts to lose its significance. People naturally gravitate towards things that feel rare or difficult to obtain, but when something or someone is constantly present and easily accessible, it no longer feels special. This is true in relationships, friendships, workplaces, and even in the way people treat themselves. Our availability often leads to a decline in respect because people stop recognizing the true value of something that never seems to be out of reach. In relationships, when a person is always around, always responding immediately, always willing to accommodate others without question, their presence becomes expected rather than appreciated. There is no sense of anticipation or excitement because their availability is guaranteed. The effort they put in starts to feel ordinary rather than meaningful. On the other hand, when there is a sense of unpredictability, when there is space, when there is a balance between presence and absence, people start to value and respect the moments they do get. When something is uncertain or requires effort to attain it, naturally holds more weight in people's minds. The same principle applies in friendships and social interactions. When someone constantly reaches out, constantly offers help, constantly says yes to every request, they may think they are being a good friend, but over time their actions may not be met with gratitude, but with expectation. Instead of appreciation, people begin to assume that this person will always be available and their efforts lose meaning. Sometimes the people who give the most find themselves being respected the least because their generosity is mistaken for a lack of self-respect. It is only when boundaries are set, when availability is balanced with distance, that people start to truly value what is being offered. In the workplace, employees who always say yes to extra tasks, who never push back on demands, who are always available beyond their work hours, often find that they are not appreciated, rather taken advantage of. The more they give, the more is expected, and instead of being respected for their dedication, they become seen as someone who can be used without consideration. However, those who set boundaries, who value their own time, and who are selective about their availability tend to gain more respect because their presence and efforts hold greater significance. Respect is built on balance, not on constant availability. People respect what they feel they might lose or what requires effort to attain. By being less available, not in a way that is distant or unkind, but in a way that maintains value and self-respect, individuals naturally gain the appreciation they deserve. When a person is too deeply involved in something, whether it is a relationship, a job, a stressful situation, or even their own thoughts, It can be difficult to see things clearly. Constant engagement often leads to emotional overwhelm, clouded judgment, and an inability to fully understand what is happening. This is why stepping back, taking a break, and allowing some distance can bring clarity that is impossible to achieve when one is too close to a situation. In relationships, people sometimes get so caught up in their emotions that they fail to see the bigger picture. They react impulsively, they misunderstand intentions, and they may even take things personally that are not meant to be hurtful. However, when they take a step back, when they create space between themselves and the situation, they begin to see things from a fresh perspective. Distance allows them to reflect without the weight of immediate emotions. And as a result, they are able to understand their own feelings as well as the feelings of others with greater clarity. In difficult situations, taking a step back often leads to better decision making. When someone is too focused on a problem, they may feel trapped as if there are no solutions available. Their mind becomes fixated on the obstacles rather than the possibilities. However, when they take a break, when they walk away for a moment, or even for a longer period, their mind relaxes and new perspectives emerge. Some of the best solutions come not from constant struggle, but from stepping back, allowing the mind to breathe, and then returning with renewed clarity and insight. Even in personal growth, stepping back is essential. Sometimes people get lost in their daily routines, in their responsibilities, and in their constant need to keep moving forward without space for reflection. They may not even realize if they are on the right path. They may be working hard but without direction or purpose. When they step back and take time to reflect, they gain a clearer understanding of their goals, their desires, and what truly matters to them. They become more aware of what is serving them and what is holding them back. Stepping back does not mean giving up or ignoring a situation. It means creating space for better understanding. It means allowing emotions to settle so that logic and intuition can guide decisions. It means seeing things from a broader perspective rather than being consumed by the immediate moment. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to first take a step back, breathe, and gain the clarity needed to make the right choices. A true connection between people is not defined by how often they are physically present in each other's lives, but rather by the depth of understanding and the bond they share. Many people mistakenly believe that being constantly available or spending every moment together is necessary to maintain a strong relationship. But in reality, true connection transcends time and distance. When a bond is genuine, it does not weaken due to physical separation or a lack of constant interaction. Instead, it remains intact and sometimes even grows stronger. In relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, presence is valuable, but it is not the only factor that sustains a deep connection. Two people who truly understand each other can go days, months, or even years without speaking, yet when they do reconnect, it feels as if no time has passed. They do not need constant communication to validate their bond because their connection is built on trust, respect, and shared understanding. The quality of moments spent together holds far more significance than the quantity of time spent in each other's presence. Life often demands that people focus on different aspects of their journey. Careers, responsibilities, personal growth, and unforeseen circumstances can create physical or emotional distance between individuals. However, a true connection remains unshaken despite these changes. When two people genuinely care for each other, they support each other's independence and personal growth without feeling the need to always be in each other's space. They understand that distance does not equate to a loss of affection, but rather an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Some of the strongest relationships are those that allow space for individuality. A connection that requires constant reassurance and presence may indicate dependency rather than a healthy bond. True connections are effortless. They do not need to be forced or maintained through excessive communication. When people have faith in their relationship, they do not fear absence because they know their bond is rooted in something deeper than physical proximity. Even in the digital age where constant communication is possible, the strongest connections are not defined by how many messages are exchanged in a day, but by the comfort of knowing that someone is there even in silence. Sometimes the most meaningful relationships are those where words are not always necessary, where there is a sense of security in knowing that regardless of time or distance, the bond remains unbreakable. True connection does not demand constant presence. It simply exists and thrives even in absence. Holding on too tightly to things, people, or situations often creates resistance and prevents growth. Many people fear letting go because they associate it with loss, but in reality, letting go is what allows change to happen. When someone clings to the past, to expectations, or to things beyond their control, they unknowingly block new possibilities from entering their life. True transformation begins the moment they release their grip and trust the process of life. Change is a natural part of existence, but it cannot happen if a person is too afraid to let go of what is familiar. Often people stay in situations that no longer serve them because they fear the unknown. They hold on to relationships that have lost meaning, to jobs that no longer inspire them, or to emotions that weigh them down. But when they finally release their attachment, they create space for something new to take its place. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about making room for growth and allowing life to unfold in ways that might be better than they ever imagined. In relationships, letting go can be one of the hardest yet most liberating things to do. Many people try to control outcomes, hold on to people who are meant to leave, or force things to stay the same. But true love and connection thrive when there is freedom. If something or someone is meant to be in one's life, they will remain naturally. If they are not, no amount of clinging will change that. When a person lets go of their need for control, they allow relationships to evolve in a healthy way, and they free themselves from unnecessary pain. Letting go also applies to personal struggles. Many people hold on to guilt, anger, or regret, believing that these emotions define them. But when they release these burdens, they experience a sense of freedom and peace. Holding on to past pain only prolongs suffering, but letting go allows healing to begin. True change happens not when someone fights against life, but when they surrender to its flow. Life is constantly moving and evolving, and those who learn to let go adapt more easily to its changes. When a person stops resisting and starts trusting, they open themselves to opportunities, growth, and new experiences. Sometimes the best way to gain something new is to first release what is no longer meant to be holding on. May feel safe, but true transformation only happens when one dares to let go and embrace the unknown. In life, the most profound transformations happen when we understand the power of space, absence, and letting go. Constant presence does not guarantee appreciation, just as overavailability does not ensure respect. True connection is not measured by how often we are around, but by the depth of understanding and trust we share with others. By stepping back, we gain clarity. By allowing space, we create appreciation, and by letting go, we open the door for change. When we stop holding on too tightly to people, situations, and expectations, we allow life to unfold naturally. We realize that our worth is not determined by how often we are seen, but by the impact we leave behind. Absence can make others value us more. Space can strengthen relationships, and detachment can lead to growth and renewal. The things meant for us will remain, and the things that leave will make room for something better. So instead of seeking control or fearing distance, embrace the idea that sometimes stepping away is the best way to move forward. Watch how everything begins to change when you allow yourself and others the freedom to breathe, appreciate, and grow.